Hello, everyone, and welcome to this video update of Caterpillar's full year and fourth quarter 2018 financial highlights. I'm Rusty Dunn with our Chief Financial Officer, Andrew Bonfield. Andrew, good to have you here again, and Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you, Rusty, and it's great to be here again.
Well, as we still get used to looking forward to it being a new year 2019, still some important business, important numbers to cover for last year. So let's get right to it.
Yes, Rusty, it was a great year for Caterpillar. We achieved a record adjusted profit per share of $11.22, an all-time high and fantastic performance across the whole of the company. A great year by our Cat employees, serving our Cat customers around the world and actually delivering fantastic returns to our shareholders.
And let's start, Andrew, with the fourth quarter on its own for sales and revenue and profit per share. What are we looking at?
So sales and revenues for the fourth quarter were up 11% with increases across all of our three primary segments. Construction industries saw good, strong sales in North America, particularly in oil and gas and non-residential building construction. Resource industries, we saw very strong sales in mining and heavy construction equipment, and actually a very strong performance, particularly in original equipment sales for the quarter. And then in E&T, we saw very strong performance in US onshore oil and gas, and also power generation, particularly for data centers and other large projects. So for the fourth quarter, our profit per share was up 39 cents on an adjusted profit per share basis. That's up about 18%, primarily driven by the higher sales and revenues we talked about of 11%. Favorable price was offset by higher material and freight costs. And a little bit of lower profit from Cat Financial because of some write-offs relating to some loans that business had.
So a great quarterly look. Andrew, let's put this into context for a full year look and what the numbers look like when you look at it for the entire 2018.
Yes, across the whole of the business for the full year, we actually saw sales and revenues up 20% to about $9.2 billion, again with all increases across all regions and all three primary segments. Construction industry, similarly, it was impacted by North America. Resource industries, again, very good sales of original equipment, particularly in mining and heavy construction. And then in E&T, all applications performed well, particularly US onshore oil and gas and power generation. We have achieved adjusted profit per share of $11.22, a record in the company's history. That was driven by the high sales volume, which was up 20%, which drove obviously the 63% increase in profit per share. We also saw lower restructuring costs, some targeted investments in our business for the long term, particularly in SG&A and R&D, and then also a little bit lower profits from our Cat Financial business as a result of the loan write-offs.
I'll ask a question about the outlook in just a second, but first I want to ask about cash deployment and what we're looking at there.
Yes, well, over the year, we actually generated significant cash flows. Cash flow has been very, very strong. We ended the year with an enterprise cash balance of some $7.9 billion. Effectively, and the ME&T businesses, virtually no net debt at all at the end of the year. And at the same time, we managed to return $5.8 billion to shareholders through a mixture of share buybacks, $3.8 billion of share buyback in the year, $1.8 billion in the fourth quarter alone, and $2 billion of dividends. And we're very pleased to be seen now as part of the Dividend Aristocrats Index, which means that we've grown our dividend for 25 years across that period of time. We also made discretionary contributions to our pension plans of $1 billion in the third quarter.
Now that takes us, Andrew, to the outlook. So looking ahead to 2019, what are we saying with regard to the outlook for the coming year?
So for the year, we've actually given a guidance range of $11.75 to $12.75. That will be another record for Cat above this year's level. So we expect still strong profit performance next year. As we look out into 2019, obviously we've seen, as we moved through the year, very strong performance, as I said, with revenues up over 20% for the full year. Next year, there are some macroeconomic uncertainties. For example, you've seen oil price volatility. So as we look out, we do expect some improved performance across end markets, particularly in areas like resource industries, for example. But we do expect less growth in the top line than we've seen this year. Overall, though, we also expect lots of in and outs in the profit and loss account, lower incentive compensation payments, obviously increased material costs with tariffs impacting us next year, but some favorable price realization, and then some other puts and takes, which net mean that we do expect a very good profit performance again next year.
Certainly a lot of positives to point to. So as we leave the numbers, some final thoughts. People always love key takeaways. What would you say?
Well, the key takeaways are thanking everybody for another great year. This has been a fantastic year, as I said at the beginning, for Caterpillar and the Caterpillar family. People need to stay focused. We've got a lot to do to deliver our commitments this year. And obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen in the external environment which can have an impact on us. So be prepared, stay ready, keep on that focus, and continuing to deliver the very strong operating and cash performance that we've generated this year.
Well, Andrew, as we love to do every quarter, a chance to get you beyond the numbers. In this case, we went to the Morton Parts Distribution Center in Morton, Illinois, just down the road from Peoria, over 3 million square feet, under roof and out in the yard. What a great tour you had. Learned a lot.
Yes, I did. Fantastic tour and a lot of technology in action, which we saw, and we'll show you some of those highlights. Really, really interesting.
Let's do it right now.
Good morning, Andrew. I'm Jeff LeVar.
Good morning, Jeff. Andrew Bonfield.
Eric Wilson.
Pleased to meet you.
We're going to do a quick safety briefing, and then we're going to take a tour and show you some of the products we handled.
That sounds great.
This is an example of a service part that goes through our parts distribution network, right? It could range anything from what we're standing in front of, a 17,000-pound generator, to a small bolt or washer.
So how many units do you have across, how many stock keeping units do you have across the whole?
Yeah, great question. This facility, the Morton facility, which is one of our largest of our 21 distribution facilities worldwide, houses about 400,000 some parts. That
400,000. I've seen large stock keeping unit piles of about 80,000 in the distribution center. So it's 5 times as big as the biggest one I've ever seen before. So this is really amazing.
If you can, we'll go to the next station of our tour. I want to show you some of the automation that we have within the facility. So Andrew, what we're looking at here is one of our 3 Auto 1500 vehicles, self-driving vehicles that we have recently implemented within the facility. Okay. So we're transporting material autonomously without human intervention to various areas of the facility. What's exciting about this is this mimics technology that we see in some of our large autonomous vehicles at Caterpillar.
And it avoids the risk from a safety perspective of somebody getting hurt or injured, moving boxes around, correct. Therefore, because of the autonomy.
Correct.
So it's great to see technology in action.
We've got some more to show you. Let's go to the next step.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you. And what is unique about this particular piece of equipment?
This box builder deals with our tri-wall corrugated boxes. Caterpillar parts are heavy.
To handle the weight and the size of the components and parts. This is another great example of technology working where actually it can be something where there was probably a safety risk about with people in the past.
We had operators before that were having to nail these corrugated boxes onto the pallets, and now that, as you can see with the system behind you, this does it automatically. We've got some more to show you.
Okay, great. Look forward.
So Andrew, we're standing in front of one of our tote automated storage and retrieval systems. The cranes that you see behind you are some of the newest additions that we put into this facility within the last 3 to 5 years. These cranes will pick a tote with the product that's being ordered, deliver that directly to a goods to person station where our operators are scanning that exact part that our customer is ordering and ensuring we're getting the right part, right quality, right product out the door.
Part of the technology is about making sure that you actually improve reliability of picking, making sure you've got the right product going to the right customer at the right time. Okay, Jeff and Eric, thank you very much for hosting me today. It's been a really interesting visit. The opportunity to see technology working in action, actually helping us become more efficient, meeting our customers' needs, actually and helping our employees by taking away some of the risks that would have been happening. Thank you very much.
Outstanding. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looks can really be deceiving, Andrew, when you drive by that facility. How much is going on in that Morton facility? So what a great day that was.
It was a great day, and as I said during the tape, there was the number of parts that they're working with in that facility is phenomenal, and the complexity that creates. So yes, it was really, really interesting for me to see how we are delivering for our customers.
Cannot wait to see what we come up with for next quarter. So get ready.
That sounds great.
Andrew, thanks for being here today.
Thank you again, Rusty.
That does it for our fourth quarter and full year 2018 financial results. Glad you could join us today. Go out, be safe. We'll see you next time.